Okay, so same hoof, the bruised distal limb, starting right at the tip of the toe. We have a bit of white line disease or disconnected white line right at the tip of the toe, but the main part of the white line is pretty well connected. The unpigmented layer, there's no lamellar wedge there in between the hoof wall and the white line. The lamina looks pretty well connected, but as we move up the limb, here is where we're starting to see problems. Bulged up papillae from the bruise, lots of these blood clots that we can see, we can notice up on top, and I'm picking at this hard bone-like material, which looks like a chip, and I have no doubt at all that this horse was suffering from high ringbone and arthritis. This is definitely a chip of bone-like material, probably ossified or structures, tissues. Right here, I'm at the pastern joint, and notice how bulged up and inflamed this hide is. And I'm going to pick away at the tissues, at the fascia, and take a look at how bulged up the tissues are here. So no doubt at all that this horse was arthritic. And this is the pastern joint. Notice how it fused together, basically. And we can even see the line of the changes. And the line is right over here. Goes like that, vertically. And these little tiny holes are the vasculature, the veins. And I've also noticed this short pastern bone, or P2. To me, it looks like it's more porous. By more porous, I mean it's less dense. But I'm not sure if my thoughts are 100% correct. This is where I found it interesting to perhaps discuss this topic, if this short pastern looks like it's more porous. The pastern joint definitely got affected. Towards the extensor process, there's a lot of changes. Moving up the bone. At first, this may look like a bruise, but once we dig a little bit into and remove the fascia, dig a little bit into the tissues, we can notice that this is a vein, tiny vein. So this may look like a bruise at first. Okay, moving up P1, or the long pastern bone. On this side we have the DDFT, the deep digital flexor tendon, but we'll discuss that in a later video. Here we have our fetlock joint, this tiny bone up on top is the cannon bone, and the one below it is the long pastern, P1. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this tiny piece of the cannon bone and reveal to you the connective tissue and the fascia that are holding these two bones, the cartilage right here in the middle. I'm going to remove some of this ice to get a better view. Honestly, I don't see any remodeling, ossification, or changes in the fetlock joint right here. I'm digging away at this ice right here, trying to remove it. There you go. I don't see any changes here. There's no remodeling of the bone, but what I did find cool was how the bone and the joint moves when the horse is in motion. So you can imagine the horse walking, and the bones are not pushing and rubbing against each other, all thanks to that cartilage and connective tissue that is protecting it. It's like a little swing. It's like a little sailboat. That's what I found pretty cool. And on this cannon bone, on the inside part, notice the cartilage here, this tiny little hole. I wonder if that's some kind of lesion or not. But again, moving downward to the pastern joint, a little bit up above it, we see all of this ossification, all of this bruising and material that was inflamed. And to my surprise, despite all of the internal inflammation and bruising, I really like how the lamina is connected. Tiny bruises up here, we can notice them. They're very faint, but they're still there, right up at the hairline. But as I said, despite that, the lamina is growing straight. It's growing vertically. There's good sole depth. Well, I wouldn't say it's the best. I'd say about a little bit more than a centimeter. But it's decent. Could have been better, of course. Could have been better. And the white line, getting back to the white line. Tiny little crack right here, CD toe. But if it was trimmed, if the horse was trimmed recently, if it were to be trimmed recently, then we could have expected better angles on the hoof. So, hope you enjoyed this video.